everyone, my name is Jennifer. I am the Calculated Stitcher. I am here to do a tutorial video on how to make the cover for my crafting journal for 2023. Now, the closure on mine is just a ribbon. It's not a ribbon, it's twill tape that looks like measuring tape. Put my glasses on, I can see better. And I just made it so it will buckle, but I think on the new one that I'm going to do, I am not going to do that closure. I'm going to do a different closure, like probably just one that ties. You don't even have to have a closure if you don't want to. But this is the one that I made for this year. Now, I previously made one, and I wanted it to be focused on Edith Holden's books. So I took the cover of one of her books, and you can see I fussy cut all around it. This is all from the cover. I did a collage. You can kind of see the collage squares. But then I tried to do some stuff with my Ranger Tim Holtz oxides and inks, and it did not come out as well as I had hoped. It just looks like a muddy mess right this second. And I did a little bit of, this is what is it called? I'll find it. Oh, here we go. Texture paste. It's texture paste. Now this is transparent, but I used one that was a white, so it's opaque. Anyway, then I even used the end papers from her book that I took this out of, because I own 3 of them. So I decided to use one, and this is when I was going to use it. Now, I will keep working on this until I actually like it. I don't know how that's going to happen, but I just think it's super pretty. Like with the end papers, I don't want to lose those because they're from the book, and I don't want to lose this because it's from the book. Anyway, I'll try something. So I videoed that whole thing and didn't like it. So then I did this one. So I'm going to show you how I made this one. I'm just going to use a different fabric. I didn't video this one because I didn't know if I was going to like it or not. So anyway, I'm going to show you how I made one. It's going to be similar to this one, just with a different closure. This closure is super easy. All I did was glue this down around it. And then I glued down this buckle right here, and I added 2 eyelets right here so that it would close. So that's super simple. So anyway, so I'm going to turn the camera around and I'm going to show you how I made this. So just 1 second. Okay, so the first thing you're going to need, this is just an old piece of corrugated cardboard, and that's how I'm going to glue. So the first thing you're going to need, I had it all sitting here and I don't know what I did with it. Oh, it's back here. You're going to need a Amazon mailer. That's as far back as I can get it. So it's just one of those that you get in the mail. It is 12 inches long by a little over 9 inches high. And I just cut, wherever I opened it, I just cut it off at 9 inches. Okay, my husband needed his earphones he was going chainsaw. Then you need your fabric, and I used this is a canvas kind of fabric. I got it from Hobby Lobby, and this is the same type of canvas fabric. This is just buffaloes. The school where I teach and where I graduated from, we are the Utopia Buffaloes, so I thought this one was very appropriate. This one, I just like this one. It has a windmill on it. I thought that would be super cute. I have a windmill actually right outside. I can see it through my window right here. It actually is attached to a well. So when I was younger, I think it pumped the best water ever. It was great. So then you're going to need your our end papers, I guess. And I used these on my last, on this project. And these came out of a paper pad from Hobby Lobby. These papers are the ones that I picked. I thought they'd be really pretty on the inside, very bright. And these actually are also from Hobby Lobby. They are just bought individually. They're the Paper Studio. Let's see if I can get this up here. I think you can see that. But they're Paper Studio. And if you wait, they do go on 50% off every once in a while. So, okay. So all I did was I took some Mod Podge. Oh, now my son is home, so I'm going to have to stop the recording again. And I mixed a little bit of water with it because I didn't want it too very thick. So, and all I'm going to do is I'm going to, oh no, I forgot. Just a second. I forgot. I need to gesso over the bag first. I don't think you're actually going to be able to see through it when I do this. I don't really see it, but just to be on the safe side with all of this, I thought it would be best. That's what I did on my last one. So this is just some gesso that it's basically just white acrylic paint. Oh, I just made a mess. Hold on. Gotta clean up my mess. Such a goofball. Okay, so all I'm going to do is put a layer of gesso, and I'm just going to use a sponge brush, and I'll just brush it all over, and then I will dry it with my heat gun. And if I knew how to speed things up, I would let you watch me do it while I did it on fast speed, but I don't know how to do that. So I'm going to go off camera then, and I'm just going to paint this whole thing and dry it. And if I think it still needs a little bit where the black parts are, then I'll put a second coat on that. But I'll be right back when we're ready to start Mod Podging this. Okay, let's try this again. So now I have gessoed one side of my mailer. I just left the other one alone because it's going to be covered by paper, so it's thick enough that it won't show through. So I just gessoed it and I dried it with my heat gun. And so now I'm going to take my Mod Podge with a little bit of water. And this, I heard from somebody that it is a face mask spreader. I got it from Amazon. If I'll remember, I will link it below if I can find it again. I bought it a long time ago. I think it came, there was a few of them in there. So it's really nice for this kind of gluing. It spreads everything nice and evenly. And when you're working with fabric, if you're going to glue fabric to paper, depending on the thickness, this one's probably okay because it's a canvas material. But especially thinner fabric, if it's not evenly spread, you'll have pooling and then you'll be able to see it through your fabric. I hope that makes sense. And let me just say, I am not a professional at this. I mean, this is probably not the way you should be doing it. This is just the way I did the last one. So I enjoy making journals and just making it up as I go along. So that's what I'm doing. All right, so once you have all of your glue spread everywhere, and you can always, if you like to sew, if you have a sewing machine, you can do that. I really don't like to sew fabric. I don't know what it is. I mean, sew fabric. Yes, I do like to sew fabric. I don't know what that was. I'm just going to fold this in half so I can kind of lay it down. I don't like to sew paper is what I was trying to say. I don't know where I was going. I'm trying to get better at it. A lot of people do it and they try to do it haphazardly and random, and I guess because I was raised making, my mother, since I was little, taught me how to make clothing, read patterns, that kind of thing. And so I guess sewing crooked and stuff just doesn't make sense to me, but that's okay. I'm trying to get more free-flowing. You know what I'm saying? All right, let's see. Oh, nope, need a little more glue here. Let's get a little more. There we go. Now, I'm going to flip it over. A little glue there. And I'm just going to clip my corners. And I do them like that. So I'll clip all of my corners. I try to do it at a 45-degree angle, but I'll tell you right now, they're not perfect. I mean, I could get my 45-degree angle ruler out and do it, but okay. So now I'm just going to add a little bit of glue around the edges, and I'm going to put it out onto the fabric like this. If I knew how to add music here, I could do that too. I said something, my son had walked in and I was talking to him while I was gessoing, and I said something about, I was drying the gesso. I said if I knew how to speed it up, I could do that, and he's like, oh, I could show you how to do that. So I was like, okay, that's great. So maybe he can teach me how to do that, and I can do that in future videos. So all right, then we're just gonna fold it up and over, and it's sticky because it's glue. If it's not sticky, then it's not gonna hold, and that wouldn't be good, would it? It's the whole point, Jennifer. I don't like my hands to be dirty. That's why I think I'm not a very good artist, if you will. I can't have my hands dirty. Hold on. So I have baby wipes that I keep next to the desk. And look. Take that off and turn it around. So I'm just going to glue all the way around, just in the same vein. And I'll tell you, I plan on putting some of these in my Etsy shop. Okay, it's actually a couple of days later, so we're just going to pick up where I left off. So this is the cover that I had glued down using some watered down Mod Podge. This is just a canvas fabric, and it's covering an Amazon packing envelope. So what I'm going to do now is I just took 2 scrapbook papers. These I got at Hobby Lobby. They're Paper Company. I think it's what it's called, the Paper Company. They're the ones that go on sale like every other week or so. So you can get them like 40 or 50% off. So I'm going to glue these down to here. Now, this is where you can decide on how you want your closure. Now, the closure that I did on the one that I'm going to be using right here is a buckle, and I'm not going to do that on this one. I already explained before how I did that. And these are my end papers that are just scrapbook papers. Now here you could choose, this one's going to have a tie closure, and I picked this beautiful yellow. It's like a golden yellow. You could put it this way and glue it down and these on top. And then you could then tie it like that. But I think I want to be able to see the yellow on the outside since there's going to be this golden yellow on the inside also. I decided to do mine a little differently. So I'm going to get my, sorry about the squeaking, this chair is just, I've tried tightening all of the screws and bolts or whatever, and it still just does not stop squeaking. I'm going to use Aleene's tacky glue, if I can open it. Just because I used all of the Mod Podge up from last time, and I didn't want to mix any just for a few papers. So I'm just going to put this down real fast. If I can get it to come out of the bottle. There we go. So I'm just going to glue it really well. Put it on its side so it's... I'm still going to use the same applicator that I used for the cover. I just want to make sure that I really get the edges so that they stick down. Although if you don't, if like you miss something, you can always go add a little bit more glue later. All right, so once this is all covered and ready, then I will just add it to my cover. You just have to decide which way is up and down for you. I don't think it really matters on this one. So make sure that it's lining up okay. Yep. Then I'm just going to push it down. Now normally when I make, hold on, I need a wet wipe. Normally when I make journals, I just had my, oh, they're right here on the ground. Goes my squeaky chair. The thing is I just bought it. So I'm like, well, just bought it about a year ago. It shouldn't, but it's acted like this since I bought it. So, all right, then I'm just going to use my bone folder. I usually, when I make journals, I make them with hard covers, but I really like this soft cover. I like the way it feels, and I love that it has a little crinkle to it because of the envelope when I open and close it. I just like that sound. So, all right, so then I cut this one so that when I glue it down, it doesn't matter if they actually meet or not. We're about to put something else down over them. So I'm going to stop this and I'm going to glue the other side down just like I did this one because nobody really wants to watch me do that. So I'll be right back. Okay, so I've glued both of my end papers down. So here's the front. Of course, it's upside down because I flipped it on the long way. And you can tell right here that my paper is stuck on some previous glue. That's why it's important not to use the page that has glue on it already. But it's okay because I'm going to put this on top of it. So nobody will even know. So what I want to do is I want to, this is going to reinforce my spine. So I find the middle of my book. And I want to try to kind of center this. It doesn't have to be exact, but at least I have an idea of where the center is. And then I want to center this on that. So it looks like I need to rip it right about here. So I will just take my scissors and cut just a slit and rip it. Well, nope, it's not a big enough slit. I'm going to make a mess if I'm not careful. I may just cut it and then just ravel it. It'll look ripped then. Oh, I cut it too short. Well, darn it. That's fine. We'll get another piece. I have more. Let's see. I kind of like with the words right there. So this time, Jennifer, let's not do it that way. So I will cut it here. And this is just the same fabric that I used on the cover, which you could use anything you wanted. And then I usually just unravel parts of it, but first I'm going to get it cut down to the width that I would like also. So I'm thinking right about here. Okay, sorry. I had to use a little oomph there for that. So then once you rip it, all the ripping does is it tears it on a straighter grain, which if you're making garments, if you're garment sewing, then that's very important. But for journaling, the reason I do it is because it helps me fray it. Of course, with this fabric, it frays pretty easily. It doesn't need very much help in that department. So then this side is not very frayed. So I'm just going to pull some threads here. And like I said, you could use any kind of fabric. You could use another piece of paper here if you wanted to. You could do whatever you want. All right, let's see. What do I think about that? I like that. Except for I think I'm going to do it this way. This looks crooked right here to me. Just going to cut this. This needs to be frayed some more. I'm usually not this fussy, but for some reason. Well, I haven't said this yet, but I'm going to give this one away. I don't know if anybody's going to be interested in winning it, but I will have a giveaway. And I will print the papers that go inside out and attach them and everything. So if you're interested. So I want it to be somewhat presentable. It's not like it's just mine. Usually I just make things for me. So I'm like, good enough, you know. All right. So I'm going to do it like that. And I think I want to ink this up just a little bit. So I need my vintage photo. Let's see. Where's my paper? Hold on one second. Okay. I got this is just packing paper that is from, like when you order something from Amazon. And I just use it for inking things, or if I'm going to be using paint, whatever. I just wanted the edges just a little bit grunged up a little. So this is actually, well, vintage photo. I don't know if you can see it, distress ink. So I'm going to just dirty it up a little bit like it's an older journal. And some people like the way it looks when you ink up the edges. Some people don't. So you just do whatever you like. All right, so that is all inked up. So then I'm just going to now glue this one down here. And again, I'm just going to use my Aleene's tacky glue. I'm going to clean up my fuzzies here. So I'll just get my glue board, try to find a spot that's not so gluey. And then I'm just going to add my glue. Now this is thicker fabric, so I don't worry so much about seeing. A lot of times you can see where the glue is puddled, but this one's not so bad. So then I'm just going to use my applicator again. and just try to spread it. Whoops. I probably should have just mixed up some more Mod Podge, but that's okay. This will work just as well. So, what kind of plans do y'all have for this New Year's? Today is actually New Year's Eve. Not New Year's Eve, I'm sorry. It is New Year's Day. I just got in from church. I did the 12 by 12. I don't know if any of y'all did that and cross stitch. Kia B started it years ago, and then Pam from Just Keep Stitching, she and Kia did it together. They hosted like some lives on Instagram last year, and they did it again this year. And so I just took my previous 12 by 12 whips, and let me see which way is up. Hold on one second. Okay, that's right side. I took the same 12 that I had been working on because I found that I had never picked them up all year since the 12 by 12 last year. So I decided that I was just going to work on the same ones. So you do one, I just did whips, one each hour from noon until midnight. And so it was really nice because it like reintroduced me to them. And it was just nice to see them again and get excited about them. And so this year, what I decided to do also, instead of Whipco, it didn't work very well for me. So instead of Whipco, I'm going to do something with the 12 by 12. And I'm going to, since there are 12 months in the year, I'm going to take each of the 12 projects, and I'm going to do one each month for 12 days, a minimum of 12 days. So hopefully I will see some progress on some of those, because the 1 hour, well, I don't get very much done, but I'm just not a very fast stitcher. Some of the people I was watching on Instagram, I was quite impressed. Very, very impressed. Okay. So there we go. So our journal is pretty much ready. It needs a haircut up here, which I will take care of when it dries a little bit more. Just making sure that's all put down there pretty well. So I'm going to go ahead and turn it over, and you can see it needs a haircut down here too. I'm going to go ahead and put the ribbon on. I'm going to find the halfway mark. And here is my seam. I can see where I folded it last time. So this is 9. So 1, 2, 3, 4.5. Yep, would be right about here. So I'm just going to take the lid off your glue, Jennifer. I'm just going to put a little bit of glue right here. And I'm going to attach the middle of my ribbon right there. So once the middle is on, then I'm good. All right, so now I will just hold that middle, and I'm just going to put a thin layer of glue all the way across to the end. Now, you can do any kind of closure on these that you want, or no closure at all. I don't always put a closure. In fact, most of the time I don't have a closure on mine. Mine get very fat. In the junk journaling world, they call it a gator mouth. For example, I don't know if I can... Do you see how fat it is when it's wider than its spine over here? So, yep. But I'm doing mine differently this year, so I think I won't have that problem. I'll be taking the pages in and out. So, okay, I'm going to flip it around and just do the other side. There we go. And I'll just add glue all the way across to the other side. I'm just eyeballing it. If you get off, you can always just add something there. if there's glue on there and you can't get rid of it, you can just add something on top. It's always good. So, all right. Now, I think I'm going to put a plate with the year on it. Or maybe I'll just put journal, because whoever gets this may not use it this year. They may use it for something else. I don't know. Let's see. Oh, sorry. I should be doing this on camera. I'm just making sure everything lines up okay. Okay. So what I was thinking is that I want this here, and I want the word journal on it, and I'll have a piece of paper inside of it. But I couldn't decide if I wanted... I was thinking it probably should stay somewhat plain because I don't know the taste of the person who will be getting it. But I have this sari silk, and I think it looks beautiful with this because there's the brown in here. And so I was wondering if I could add, and it would tone down that yellow. I'm just not sure. I wanted to put it on there crinkly, so it would stay crinkled. And then put this on top. I think I would just straighten it out there, though. Tina from Shabby Dabby Doodah, she does hers with her, just check and see if this is almost dry. She puts her sari silk on, or any kind of fabric on, and ruches it using her hot glue gun. So I thought, well, maybe I could do that. Oh, see, I crinkled it. I should really let this dry. Oops. All right, so let me turn this off and let it dry for a little bit, and then I'll be right back. Okay, I did a little bit right here because I wanted to practice. I wasn't sure what I was doing, so I just have seen Tina do it, so on her channel. Shabby Dabby Doodah is her channel. I love to watch her. She is just the sweetest, talented lady. Sorry, I was trying to get my glue gun. My future daughter-in-law and my son gave me the coolest for Christmas glue gun. It's like on a stand. I'll show it to you. It's a We Are Memory Keepers, and it's pink. It's super cute. I don't know if you can see it because my camera's so close to my... But it comes with this stand, and it has this little part right here where it can drip on, and it just pops right off. So there's no mess. I really enjoy this. So, and there were black glue sticks, which I didn't even know there were black glue sticks. Okay, let me throw that away now. My problem is I'm not sure where to put the glue gun. Where I would like to put it, I just, my table here is very small. It's not much bigger than this right here, so. Okay. Anyway, so what I do is I just put a little, oop, that's a lot. A little bit of glue. That's more than I've been putting. But, and then I just lay it down, and I'm using my Cricut. It's a tool that came with my Cricut, which, this is so sad, but do you know I have not even taken that thing out of the box, and I think I bought it 2 years ago. I don't know how to use it, and I'm sure there are thousands of videos probably on how to use it, and I just, one day I'll get to it. I tell myself I have enough to do, right? Okay, I just talked all the way through that, and I didn't explain what I was doing. So again, I put a line of glue, and then I take my sari silk, and I just take my thing, and I'm just like scraping it like this towards creating the rouging. Now, I don't want, I think that's it. I don't want this ruched where I'm going to put my plate. I think it's, I don't want it to bunch up. I don't want the paper to be bunched underneath it. So I'm just going to leave it flat under the plate. So I'm just going to let it be flat. You don't have to glue this part down. I just thought it would be easier if I could have this part down and then I wouldn't have to worry about it. So to right about here, so I'm just lining it up with right about that window right there. All right, so that's where I'll start ruching it. Ruching is at the window. Oops, I wasn't watching what I was doing. It just dripped on my desk. Okay, so it doesn't have to be perfectly flat. I just want it to be flatter so it doesn't mess with my book plate. All right, so then I'll just finish up this part right here. Again, just a line of glue. And again, I am not a professional at this, so if you know an easier way to do this, then go for it. I'm just pushing, I'm making the ruching. I'm just pushing it back with my tool towards me. All right, so then I can finish like that. I like that. That is super cute. All right, so now I'm going to put my plate down. Huh, there's glue. Little glue hair everywhere. Put that away. So I'm going to stamp. I was going to put journal, but apparently I don't have a stamp that says journal. I thought I did, but I do not. So I'm going to move all this stuff out of the way and get a stamp pad. So I have to decide what color I want this. I think I would like it brown. So let me look in my drawer. If you hear me rooting around, I'm just pulling all of these out of the drawer. Vintage photo, ground espresso. This one looks like the darkest brown that I have. I have a black. Let's see what else is over here. That's coffee. The rest of these are colors. Okay, so I'm going to go with the ground espresso then. It looks like the darkest. And if I have the option, I would rather stamp it something on a piece of paper and then attach it, just because I'm not very good at stamping. I don't know where that came from. That can go back in there. I know there's like all these rules to follow and I don't know what they are. So I'll just show you what I do. So I take, and I've just learned by watching junk journalers, and so I don't know if they do it right or not. And I just take this and I tap it on top of my stamp until it looks like it's fully covered. And then I'm just going to stamp it on here. Oh, that's upside down, not that it matters. Let's see how this works out. And then I just press down. Oh, look, it's upside down. This part, look. Good to know. All right, so then I want this to fit in here. It's a little too big. I do like that. Although I would like it a little, like with some coffee. Hold on one second. I'm going to go get my coffee spray. Okay, this is just a little spray bottle I keep in my refrigerator. It has coffee and water. I just wanted my paper to be a little bit darker. So, and since I used to stamp, I did use the Distress Archival ink, which is a permanent ink. So then it's waterproof. I was trying to find words. Okay, so it's okay if I spray it. It's not going to affect it. So let's see if that's dark enough. I will dry it. Hold on. if I can get it. I'm going to dry it with my heat gun, and I'll be right back. Okay, it is darker. I don't know how much you can tell on the camera, but let me see. Oh yes, much better. Much, much better. All right, so I'm going to cut this out. I really want it to fit within this little frame. I'm going to glue it down in there. So let me mark it. So up just a little bit. I'm going to mark it there and pull it down. And I want it to fit within the frame. So I'm going to cut it right about there. All right. Ooh, that was all sorts of crooked. Let's straighten that up. Let's see how it fits now. I just need to cut a little bit off the bottom. Let's see. Making a mess is what I'm doing. All right, so nope, I still need to cut more off the bottom. I usually use my rotary cutter to cut this. I love to cut with scissors. I love the sound it makes. I can remember being in kindergarten watching my teacher. I was supposed to be napping on the little, what do you call those? Oh dear, I can't think of the word. The little mats, on my little mat, and I was watching her cut out. I just love the sound of it. Okay, so it fits down inside of this, which is what I wanted. And now, throw that away. I want to glue this. Now I think I'm going to use my Fabrifix or Fabritech. I have one in a little bitty bottle here. I'm going to use this. It's great. Since this is metal, I'd rather use this glue. To me, it's just a stronger glue. Here, let me show you a bottle of it. Hold on. It's right here in the cabinet behind me. This is Fabrifix. There's Fabritech, and I think there's another one, and they're all the same type of glue. I got mine at Hobby Lobby. I'm sure you can get them off Amazon also. All right. Here we go. It's not wanting to come out of my nozzle here. I thought this would be better because it's a little fine tip, but not if it's going to take 10 minutes to get it out, right? Oh, my son is getting home from work. I'm so sad because a week from tomorrow he goes back to college. And this will be his last time he's actually here. Like, I keep saying that he's ours because he'll be married the next time that he comes to stay with us. And just, you know, end of an era kind of thing. So, I love the girl he's marrying though, so it's okay. All right, so I glued it in and it looks like this. And now I'm just going to, I'm going to add some little, you can see the holes. I'm going to put little brads in there to fill up those holes. So just a second, let me go get my brads. He drove down to the barn. I don't know what he's doing down there. Okay, so I just need to pick out some brads that will match this. And these look like the best choice. Let's see if they're big enough. It's going to be my only thing. I think they'll be fine. So, whoop, where's the camera? That's what they're going to look like. So I'm just going to bend these back. I keep wanting to bring it to me to do this. I keep forgetting. It's supposed to stay where you can see it. Okay, now the only problem is one of these is going to be too long, so I'm going to need to cut it off. Oh, let me get my old scissors for that. I really don't want to use my good ones. Okay. So I'm just going to cut this one that's sticking off right here. I'm just going to cut that one off a little bit. There we go. Okay. I think I'm going to get a piece of washi tape to hold them in place just because they want to wiggle around. So then I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. Just putting, I really need a bigger brad for this, but this is the only one I have, the only size I have that matches this plate. All right, again, I'm going to have to cut one of these off. Okay. Maybe I'll put them, when I glue them down, I'll just get them fixed. We'll see if that works. All right, now I'm going to leave these out because I think I want to use, well, no, I think I will use the ones that match this plate. I was going to use yellow since it had some yellow on it, or gold, but all right, I'll leave those out for now. Okay. So I'm going to glue this down, and to glue down metal to fabric, I would use my Fabrifix. So I went ahead and opened the big one since the other one did not want to flow so well. So I'm just going to put some on the outside metal portion. And I want to be sure I add it to the brads, the little tabs that are sticking out here. Now, if you do have acrylic nails, which I do because my nails do not grow, and I have very ugly hands, so I have to have nails because to try to detract from them. This has acetone in it, so it can mess up your nails. So just know that beforehand if you do get your nails done, because the acetone will mess with it. So you just have to be careful about handling it. All right, let's see if I can do this then. So then I'm just going to glue it down. Try to get my brads so that they are in the center of the hole, and that the little legs of the brads are underneath so you can't see them. All right, so then I'm just going to sit here and hold this down. So this may take a little bit. So I am going to shut the thing off while I wait for this to dry, because that would be very boring. Plus, I don't have a whole lot to talk about, I don't think. So, all right, I'll be back as soon as this is dry and I can stop pushing. Okay, so this is my cover, and the plate is almost completely dry, so I'm just gonna not mess with it right this second. This is my inside. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the holes in at the top and the bottom so that the signatures can be added to the journal. So that's what I'm going to do next. So what I did to do this was that I found the center, and mine is 12 inches. So of course 6 inches is the center. And I marked, where's my pencil? See, I have stuff everywhere. So let me clean up my mess here. I didn't even put my lid back on this glue. Oh, there's my pencil. It's on the floor. Hold on one second. I got it. Hold on. So I marked 6 inches, and I think I did mine about a quarter of an inch in, I think. So, can you see this? Let me zoom in. Center it. Zoom in. Which way to zoom? This way to zoom. Okay. So 6 inches and that's about half an inch-ish. Closer to a quarter of an inch. So then I think I did mine half an inch apart. So the other one would be here. And then this one would be right about here. Okay. Then I'm going to do the same thing at the top. So 6 inches, about half an inch in here. And then half an inch. And then half an inch on the other side. Right about there. I'm not sure if we'll be able to see those in a minute. This still feels wet. I probably should wait a little bit. Okay, so then I'm going to use my Crop-A-Dial. This is the Crop-A-Dial Big Bite. Let me zoom back out. It is the Crop-A-Dial Big Bite. And it sets the eyelets here. You see right here where it's closing. It also punches the holes here and then the fatter one here. So it just kind of depends on what size eyelet you have. These are fatter eyelets, so I'm going to use the bigger hole, I think. I may try the smaller hole just because I'm always scared that I don't want to put too big of a hole in there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to slide my book in here, and then I'm going to, oh, you can see me. There I am. So then I'm going to put my head sideways so I can actually watch this hit the mark that I made. So you just set it down like this, and then you line it up here, and I just lean over and I watch that little bar come down and push it down. Let me see if I can show you. You can see right there, maybe. I don't know. We'll see. Okay, so I'm going to see if that's big enough. I don't think it is, but we're going to try it anyway. Let's see. Oops. So I'm going to get one of my eyelets and just see if it will fit in that hole. Where's my little scissors? Just going to snip off some of these little fibers. Let's see if it'll fit in there like this. No, I think it needs the big hole. Okay, which I figured, but that's okay. So it just has a little thing here that slides over. So if you want the 3/16 hole or the 1/8. So we're going to go to the 3/16. And again, I'm going to put it in. This time I'm going to watch the big hole come in. And so there's my hole. And I'm going to do that for all of them. Let me do 3 of them and then and I should set my, it has a thing right here where you can set it so that they're all the same distance from the edge, which I should have done, but okay. So I'm going to punch my other 3 and I'll be right back. Okay, now I do apologize. That probably wasn't very helpful, But there are a lot of videos that people who have better filming setups than I do. I just have my phone sitting here on a little arm, and it's a very short arm, so I don't have much space here. So I'm sorry about that. But you can look it up on YouTube. I'm sure there's lots of videos. So then I'm going to take the eyelet, and I want the pretty side on the outside. So I'm just going to place it in the hole. And I've changed the setting on my crocodile to the very outside one. You can tell it looks like it's an eyelet. And then since I'm using the big one, the top part has these little nipples, and it has the larger one, and then it has a smaller one. And so I'm going to flip it around and use the larger one. And then you just pick the disc at the bottom, and I'm going to pick the biggest one, and then you just push them back in. So then I will just slide this under and just line it up and push down. And then you have an eyelet. Except for it has a little fiber because I didn't cut it off, but I'll do that. Hold on. Okay, there we go. So now, and you have an eyelet. So I'll do one more, and then I'll turn the video off and do it. So I'm going to put this one in the hole. And I can tell it has a bunch of threads hanging. Hold on. Let me flip this over. These little threads right here are making it difficult to... It's because I use this canvas. It usually doesn't have that. So I'm going to press this through. Make sure it goes all the way through on the other side, like this. And then I will just again line it up. Make sure it's all lined up. And then push down. And there's another one. So I'm going to go ahead and add the other 4, and I'll be right back. Okay, so now we're ready to add the elastic. So this is just some elastic that I bought on Amazon. I have some that I ordered off of Etsy, and I haven't gotten it yet. I think it's supposed to be delivered tomorrow, so we'll see. I think there's a yellow one, but I think it's going to be too yellow for this, so I think I'm just going to stick with black. You don't see much of it anyway. You want 4 heights of your journal. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then I always add just a little bit more because you're going to want to tie it. You're going to need some extra, plus it'll go on. Anyway, you'll see in a second. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go through the middle hole at the top, and I'm going to just leave a tail right here, and I'm going to come in right next to it. It doesn't matter if you go to the left or the right, so I'll just go right here, and then I'll pull it through. So on the outside it'll look like that. I just came from the inside out in the center, and then I went back in on the outside hole. So I'm going to come down here, and I want to go now all the way down here and go out that hole. Then I'm going to come back through the hole right next to it, so the center hole. Like that. Then I'm going to come back, and I want to go through the center hole again. Now, this is where I really need a thinner elastic, but this is the only one I had, so I ordered some that's thinner. So I have to kind of force mine to go through there. I used, where's my pokey? Now I don't see my pokey tool. It's okay, we'll use this. So, and I can't remember, let me see if I can tell. I don't have my, millimeters are right here, hold on. This one I think is 4 millimeters. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, I think the thickness of this one is 4 millimeters, and I think I ordered either a 3 or a 2 millimeter, which I think will probably be better, but I will let you know for sure in the description box when the other comes in and I have time to play with it. This is hard to do when I can't hold it up to my face. I have to do it under the camera. I have an awl, which makes it easier. Okay, hold on. I'm just going to get my awl. All right, try again. Okay. So just poke it through. Oh, actually, you know what? I didn't use my awl. I used my tweezers. No, my tweezers aren't here either. Because then I could pull them with the other end. Ugh. Okay, there it goes. So if you make sure you have a thinner elastic when you do yours. Okay, so it went through. So you're going to have these two that are in the same hole right here. So then I'm just going to go, I'm going to come back through this hole right next to it, the one that doesn't have anything in it, like this. And then I'm going to come down to this hole that doesn't have anything in it. And then again, I'm going to have to come back through. So the center one is going to have 2 elastics. So I'm going to flip it over. It's just going to make it easier. And I need it to come back into the center one. So I will, again, take my awl and try to stick it through. Well, okay, I'm going to pause this because then I can pick it up and get it closer to me. Just one second. Okay, when I pulled it up to me, it just went in like, no, really easy. So really easily. So it shouldn't be a problem. Now I have mine probably a little too tight. You don't want it pulling your book too much. So I just have to make sure that these are, they're tight enough to hold in your signatures, but not too tight that it's going to affect the shape of your book. So, okay. So then I'm just going to take the 2 ends that are loose and tie a knot. So for this, I usually have somebody come help me so I can use their, I'm going to do left over right, and then I want to do the opposing. So left over right. And then I just pull it. Okay. And I think that's it. So then what you would need to do is use, you can use a match, because that's what I use, because I don't have a lighter. The lady that I watched do this, she had a lighter. So, but I don't have a lighter at my house. So I used a match then to sear the ends so it doesn't do this. Can you see how it's unraveling? So it won't do that. And I did that on my other one. So now we're going to talk about what we would do to add the signatures. So I'm just going to take my signatures out. All right, So let's talk about the printing of the signatures. Let me take all of them out. I should have printed them again. I didn't think about that. So this is what mine looks like. Right, I'm gonna put this to the side. So let's look at January 1st. So here is January. And the way that I did mine, I printed mine on paper that I have dyed. Some of it is coffee dyed. This is avocado dyed. Just different kinds of papers. I just thought it would be interesting. But the way I printed them out, you have a monthly spread when you flip your first page. So you have this page to decorate, do whatever you want. And then the way I did mine was that when I flip, then I will have the first week here. And then if I get to it, I would like to keep up with the collage challenge, Margaret Miller's collage challenge. And I would like to just do a smaller scale. So I thought I could do it just on this little half sheet. And so then the subsequent, this one you can see has lace. I use lace on this one. It has a blank page on this side and then the weekly spread on this side. And it goes all the way through to the end. Now, in this case, I ended up with 2 blank pages because of the length of the month and the way that the weeks fell. So they're all different. But I'm going to show you how to print these out. All I did was I took some scrap paper, and because when you print it, each one, there's just one half of a page has something. The other part is blank. And so, for example, this one I just printed regularly because there's nothing on either side. This one, the second page, I had to do the second half of the monthly spread on the right hand side, but then on this side, then it had to be the last month, the last week of the month on the other side, if that makes sense. I'm not sure if it does. So there's nothing on the left hand side of either page. So I put together the right hand side of the monthly spread for January, and on the other side of the paper I did 2-sided, and my printer, I have to print out one and then I have to flip it manually and then print this one. So it takes me a while to do it, but so I just had to take some scrap paper and write it down. So when you print it out, it's going to just be one, the page is just going to have one side, and you're going to have to figure out how to put it together. So I thought I would show you this, and those two go together. I don't know if this makes sense at all. So then this one would be on this page. This is the first weekly spread is on this side, and the third week is on this side. And then the second week is here. Is that the second or the third? That's the second week. This is the third week. That is the fourth week because there's 5. So that's how I did mine. And I'm not going to sew them together. You can sew them together if you want, but I thought if I'm doing the collage challenge, maybe I want to sew something on a page, or maybe I just want to be able to take it out so I can lay it flat and work on it like that and then put it back in. I thought that would work well then with not sewing them. And then later I will put them all into their own separate journal where I will actually attach them permanently. But to begin with, they're going to be loose like this. And so then if I was using this journal, then I would just, it's still a little wet, so I just need to put something heavy on it and let it dry. But I just open it up to the center. I take the first, or whichever place you want to put it, I'm going to take the first elastic and I will just put it in here, and it just slides in. And and then it just folds over. And it just fits in there like that. And then they'll all fit in accordingly. I don't know if that makes sense or not. So, and then to take them out, I just can, since it's a soft journal cover, I can just do this and then fold it back up like this. So, here's mine. I'm going to put them in here. So, I am going to give away this journal cover with the pages all printed out and ready to go for the first 3 months. Now, everything is free. It's all on my Linktree. And as soon as this, I've got to put something heavy on this. Hold on. As soon as this video uploads, then I can access my description box and I will attach my Linktree link there and you can get to it. I think I'm going to add a few splatters on the outside. I do like my splatters. Maybe I won't. Some people may not like the splatters. So, anyway, all right. So, as soon as this is loaded, this video is loaded, I will attach, so it may not be until Monday before it's uploaded. I never know if it's going to take overnight or not. But my Linktree will be there so you can print out your own copies of these. I have the first 3, I put them up about a week ago, the first 3 months. If you want, I can do a video where I actually show you how I print them out. But like I said, you just have to play with it, and everybody's printer is different. So some people's printers actually print 2-sided. Mine don't do that. Mine does not do that. So, and I think that's it. But my Linktree has the copies of these, and you to just download them and use them however you want to. That's fine. And I think that's it. So when we're finished and the signatures are all in here, then the way that this one is going to close is you can just then tie it like this. And it'll just have a tie then for the closure. This one just hasn't been shaped. Mine has already been shaped. I just take a book and I put it inside. I was trying to see if I had one here. Oh, here's a book. I just take a book and I just sit there and I play with it like this. And so it gets the memory of a book, like a spine of a book. And so I'll leave it like this overnight or so until it learns how to behave, I guess. So anyway, okay, so this is how you make the cover. I feel like I've just waffled off into a different topic altogether. So the pages, like I said, you can get on my Linktree. They're free. The journal, if you make a journal cover, I would love to see it. I would love to see how it comes out. Mine are pretty plain. I'm thinking of making some and putting them in my Etsy shop. But I'll see if anybody's interested in it first. So I'm going to give this one away. And it will be all shaped and ready to go. So it should be good with all the pages for the first 3 months will be in there also. I eventually am going to make a, and I mean, it will be in the next week. I'm going to make I don't know if it's going to be a signature or if it's going to be a separate book that's going to be inside mine. I'll show it on my floss tube if I do it. And it will also be on my Linktree. But I want a place where I can keep track of my whips and my finishes and my starts and all that kind of stuff in one central location. And so I think I want to do that. But I'll work on that sometime this week. Hopefully school's starting back up, so hopefully I'll have a little time sometime. All right. Well, I hope you liked the video, and I hope it wasn't too crazy. I hope you could understand most of it. All right. Well, I will talk to you next time. Bye. Okay. I totally forgot to pick a way for you to win this journal. So if you're interested in winning this journal, which will be the cover, and it will have 3 of the months printed out and put inside, then just use the word journal in your comment below, and you will be entered to win. So until next time, be kind to each other. Bye.